I thought it'd be funny to start this video by revealing that I'm wearing a Three Lions shirt and just be singing, "It's coming home, it's coming." But I didn't want you to think that it had got me. There's a sporting event on at the moment called Euro 2020, which I assume was supposed to happen last year. It's like the World Cup, but just for Europe. I've become aware that England have been doing better and better, like they've been progressing. They're in the finals. And I learned this because we live next to a student house and they were really being very loud. And being someone who's not into football, I find this sort of nationwide trance that everyone's been put under just sort of bizarre. Like everyone's, even people that aren't into football, are really excited. But it's the first time in 55 years that England have reached the final of a tournament. So a few points to that. The women's team do really well, and the last time that the women's football team got to the final of a tournament was 2009. No one gave a shit about it because, you know, they're ladies. 2 years ago, the English team won the Cricket World Cup, 2019 Cricket World Cup. According to Wikipedia, the game has gone down in history as one of the greatest ever finals and games in cricketing history. Now, I don't know what makes cricketing history. I don't really know how cricket works. But it says that the main game ended in a tie, with both teams tied at 241. The England game that they had on Wednesday, it was 1-1 for most of the game, and then England won 2-1. 241 is like Quidditch level points. That sounds way more interesting to watch. Does anyone know that England won the cricket? It's the first time they'd ever won the Cricket World Cup. They didn't get a parade, and yet all this week I've been reading like, oh, the Mayor of London has said that if England win, then they'll throw a big parade. Boris Johnson poised to declare extra bank holiday if England win Euro 2020. The Queen wishes England football team success in final. I'm reading this article about this family that's all watching the game together, and there's this kid called Rudy who's 4 years old, and they were saying, I hope he remembers it when he's older. It'd be really nice if he was able to tell his children, I watched that match. I'm not against caring about things, it's just that we do well at other stuff and they don't get this level of attention. I don't know what it is about football specifically that like crystallizes national pride in a way that other things don't. Like, I'm really into Eurovision. If we won Eurovision, I don't think we'd get an extra bank holiday. And part of that is because in the last Eurovision we came dead last with 0 points. I tried my best to stop that. I have a friend called Jonathan who's written some big pop hits. Sometimes Jonathan just has ideas. He emailed me once and said, I had a dream that me and you wrote a musical and it became a big hit on Broadway, and Taylor Swift did a cover of like the big hit from it, and she had a massive hit and made loads of money, and then we made loads of money because we wrote the song. I still remember the song from my dream. Phone me up and I'll sing it to you down the phone. And I recorded it. This is the chorus of the song that Taylor Swift was singing that me and this 70-year-old man wrote in his dream.
The chorus goes, they'll whisper pure emotion, they'll promise deep devotion under the red moon skies above, but young lips never want love. Once again, they'll whisper pure emotion, they'll promise deep devotion under the red moon skies above, but young lips never want love. And then at the end it can go, but young lips never want love, but young lips never want love.
Young lips never want love. I'm sure that could be good. You're welcome to write it if you want. I sort of wasn't really feeling it, so I didn't. It also didn't really sound like a Taylor Swift song, which I know is petty. Anyway, so he emailed me in January and said, I've got a really cool idea for a Eurovision song. It's called Madam Merkel. Eurovision songs aren't allowed to be political. So the idea with this is, it's just a love ballad to a person called Madam Merkel. Chorus is, Madam Merkel, we adore you, you're so decent, wise and fine. Madam Merkel, we adore you, you're our favourite Fraulein. I still love it. If anyone says anything, you can just say, just coincidence. It's not about that Madam Merkel. It's just like a love ballad to a nice German lady. But in reality, everyone's going to vote for it because they'll think it's funny that after leaving the EU, we're singing a love ballad to the Chancellor of Germany. So I wrote that song, and then I emailed the Director General of the BBC. I'm sure this isn't your business, but could you please pass it on to whoever is in charge of selecting the BBC Eurovision entry for 2021? I've written a couple of big hits before. Now, Jonathan, he sort of gave me an email template and was like, here's what you should say. I wouldn't have said that, but I did. I've written a couple of big hits before, and when I wrote this, I felt it would be perfect as a UK entry. The title should get immediate attention and laughs, and the song is very catchy. If selected as a finalist, we would produce it properly with 6 singers, 3 boys and 3 girls. I got an email back from a guy called Paul. He works for BBC Television. He got in touch with the production company and the team that puts on Eurovision for the BBC, forwarded them my email and the song. They are grateful. But as you may be aware, over the years the BBC has utilised many different routes for choosing a song for Eurovision, including national voting shows and internal selections. Most recently, a number of major record companies were invited to pitch to work in partnership with the production company to produce the artist and song. This resulted in the production working alongside global song producers and award-winning record label BMG. I emailed back, okay, great. So can I assume then that BMG will be getting in touch to let me know whether Madame Merkel will be going forward for consideration? Or could you possibly send me the contact details of whoever it is at BMG that I should chase up? He replied again and said, when I spoke to the production company that puts on Eurovision for us, they informed me that they would soon be announcing their plans for Eurovision. I've passed them your email and song, so they have your details should you need them, and I trust that they're in touch with BMG. So, you know, he's basically saying, look, I've passed the song on. What more do you possibly want? The next email I have was sent the day after I received that one. And it starts, Dear Alistair. Oh, Alistair is the UK president of BMG. So I just emailed them myself. Dear Alistair, I've been given your contact by the BBC. Absolute lie. As someone who can direct me to whoever's looking after the UK side of Eurovision. I'm well aware it must be getting close to the time when a decision will be made on the UK entry, and I attach a demo and lyric sheet for a possible entry called Madame Merkel. As you'll guess, this would be a controversial but amusing UK entry, getting a lot of attention and I think potentially winning. We'd make the final proper version with 3 boys and 3 girls, a future One Direction and Spice Girls combined. You can tell that like a 70-year-old pop music mogul was who thought of that sentence. He just replied like that day and was like, thanks Alex, we're sorted for this year, but appreciate you getting in touch. Also, in his email signature, it says that his executive assistant is Christina de Souza, and that is a character from Doctor Who. I then also was a bit cheeky and said, while I have you, are you the best person to send like an artist pitch towards, or could you direct me to whoever is appropriate to receive that? And he said, I can steer internally depending on the genre. And I went, great. And I sent him a playlist of my songs on SoundCloud and he never replied. So all in all, pretty disappointing. I thought about emailing the BBC again after Eurovision aired and we came last. And just to go, I'm still available. Sorry it didn't work out with the award-winning producers and songwriters you worked with at BMG. I saw this article on The Guardian the day after the England got to the finals. And the headline is, it's beautiful, it's unbelievable. England win sparks night of celebration. And the reason I clicked it is because the main sort of headline picture was this picture of a bunch of guys fucking about on what seems to be a moving bus. And that to me looks like a race riot. So I was confused. And the caption says, fans celebrate on a bus in London. If I said to someone, oh, we went to the game and then we had this big celebration on a bus, they wouldn't assume we were on the bus. It was a really weird like disconnection reading this whole article where they just talked entirely about how positive and excited it was while showing all these videos of people just fucking stuff up in London. Look at this footage of, this is like people celebrating after the England win, and to me this is rioting. And like if this was all a bunch of black guys, I feel like the media would not be as kind. But because it's like, you know, typical England nationals or whatever, it's like, oh, they're just having a good time. Don't worry about it. You can climb on that traffic light. You can break off the mirror of a bus and just party with it. It's something that I forgot to say at this point in the video, which is that the Football Association, which is like the UK organisation for football, has been fined €30,000 because the English football fans at the English-Denmark game booed during the Danish national anthem, and they also set off fireworks inside the stadium. It wasn't a game where I feel like it deserves this level of celebration. Like, England won 2-1. The first of their 2 goals was actually scored by Denmark, who scored an own goal. So Denmark actually scored more goals than England. It's just that they scored against everybody. They scored against themselves as well. That was what brought them to a tie. And then the second goal that England won with, it was super controversial because it looked like the guy who had the ball just threw himself to the ground and said that he was tripped up because this other player had bumped into him and made him stumble. The referee ruled that that was what happened, so who am I to judge? Like, that's the referee's job. I'm not one of those people that's going to be like, oh, the fucking ref should never judge a game again, or fucking obviously murder. Like, no, the whole point is that the ref's decision is the one that matters and not mine. People couldn't really see the contact, and so they thought that he just dived to the ground to get a penalty so that they could score. Everyone sort of agrees, I think, that England played much better and they deserve to win, but not like that. So I would argue that that doesn't deserve this, like, at least be a little bit embarrassed about it, you know? The squad will play Italy in the decider at Wembley on Sunday night, the first major final for the men since the World Cup win in 1966. Like, you grow up as an English person hearing about, like, 1966 is like the date the Constitution was signed for Americans. And they specifically had to say the first major final for the men because the women managed to get to the finals in 2009 and also in 1984. Joyful scenes were repeated outside the stadium. Supporters lobbed pints into the air in celebration. I went to a World Cup game once with Danny, not like the stadium, but we went to this big like screening kind of thing. There was like a big projector with the game on and there were like hundreds of us all in, and there was a bar. I think Wayne Rooney scored a goal and everyone had their drinks in plastic cups and everyone just went, ah! It's like, well, we've all got to buy new drinks now. What the fuck was the point of that? It was a waste of money. England fan Vic Richards, 22, said, I'm still trying to compute what happened. I've never seen England make a final. Well, you should have been watching the women's team. Or the Cricket World Cup. Or the Rugby World Cup. We won that, didn't we, in 2003 or 2005? I think the guy's name was Johnny Wilkinson. And he was the rugby player who scored, like, the winning goal. Is it even called a goal in rugby? I don't know. But he was the one who, like, you know, got them over the line. The same way that Harry Kane was the person who scored the second goal in the England game against Denmark that made it 2-1. And it's like, he scored the winning goal. It's a team sport. They're all the winning goal if it means you didn't lose. It's not like the last one matters more. They all had to be there in order for you to win. We should be just as thankful to whoever from Denmark scored our first goal. It's beautiful. It's unbelievable. I love this country. This is a historic occasion. We may never see this again. Now we can start to believe. It's football, isn't it? If we won Eurovision and I said that, I love this country, I was like weeping. Like, we finally did it. I've never seen England win a final. Here you go. Many fans tried to stay out late to enjoy the win, with a few dozen supporters in Leicester Square climbing on top of a double-decker bus. And then the next line is, Met Police later said 20 arrests were made in London, with offences including common assault, public order and assault on police. Former England captain David Beckham joined the celebrities, saluting the team's achievement on Instagram. Like, so we're just glossing over the bit that interests me, which is that, like, everyone went mental. I don't know if I want England to win or not, because if they win, then it seems like they're just going to fuck shit up some more. And if they lose, I feel like they'll do that, but angrily. It's going to be like the Capitol in America. It's going to be like, this was stolen from us, and we're going to, like, kill a load of Italian people. It's going to be really bad. England fan Lucy Millard, 18, was elated as she left Wembley, saying it's the first time in so many years we've been in the finals. It's coming home. What is coming home? The trophy? I wouldn't describe home for the trophy of the Euro tournament as England when we've never won it. I think it's because England, like, modern football was invented in England. That's not me bragging, that's just a thing. And so people think, like, it's coming back to where it started, like it's coming back to its roots. Which I guess, but it just feels like such a platitude, you know what I mean? English schools plan late start on Monday so pupils can watch Euros final. Would winning Euro 2020 change England? I just thought, I don't want us to win and then I have to hear about this for the rest of my life.